Hello my friends and welcome to another video. It feels so surreal to finally be back and make a video like this after all these years. I think it has been 3 or 4 years now, which is a long time, and I thought a lot about how I should come back, if I should make this big and exciting thing, but then I thought to myself, I'm going to do it the way I am, and that is calm, quiet, relaxed, and slow. And so I'm just going to take you with me on a little vlog and show you a little bit of my day and something that is very, very important for me at the moment, and that is my garden. In case you don't know, I started renting a little garden last year, and that is a part of an allotment garden area. Now, I know a lot of people have never heard about this because it doesn't really seem to be a thing out of or outside of Europe. So basically it is a big area where you have little gardens side by side, all divided by little fences, and on your little piece of land you have a little cottage, like a very, very tiny small house. You can grow pretty much everything in your garden then. All kinds of vegetables and fruits and plants and flowers. And it's basically for all the people in the city who have an apartment and don't have their own garden. It's pretty much a chance to have your own little space outside, which I really, really love. And my parents had one of those gardens for a few years now, and I was very, very lucky to get the garden that is just right beside theirs. Also, since the last time I made videos on here, I have a wonderful partner. His name is Jules, and he's not going to be in this video because he's currently at his place, which is on the other side of the country, and I'm going to join him in a few days, but at the moment I'm by myself, so don't be surprised why I am alone and not with him. But yeah, I'm excited, and I think I'm going to pack my stuff now, and then I will show you my little garden. This is always the biggest struggle for me because I tend to overpack all the time. I always bring way too many stuff, but you know, a girl has to be prepared for everything, so it is how it is. I hope some of you can relate to this. Now, also something interesting, you are actually not allowed to use these kind of gardens as a permanent residence, but in some areas like ours, you are allowed to sleep there over the weekends or for the holidays. I just arrived in the garden and it's already in the evening hours, but I think this is one of my most favorite times of the day, especially here, because the light turns everything into kind of a painting. Everything looks a little more beautiful when the sun goes down a little bit, and I just love that so much. It always reminds me of the Impressionists in a way. It's very hard to capture this through the camera, but when I see it, when I sit here, it just looks so beautiful and makes me so happy. I think I'm going to make myself some dinner now, eat here outside, and hopefully have a great rest of the day. This evening I'm going to make one of my go-to dinners, a very simple one, and that is a salad made of cucumbers, tomatoes, paprika and radish. I will serve it with falafels, which I didn't make myself. I bought them at Edeka, but I would love to try making them myself one day. If you have a recipe, let me know. And usually I would add a self-made yogurt dressing, but this time I went with the lazy options. However, if you're interested, I will share the recipe with you. But yes, in general, I'm someone who is very, very happy with just simple food. It was very delicious. It is now the next day. I already had some delicious breakfast outside, which I'm going to blend in here now. I thought I'm going to show you a little bit more of the inside. It's not going to be much because, as I said, it is tiny. And before that, I'm going to blend in a before photo. The kitchen especially was very, as we would say in German, zusammengewürfelt. And I wanted to have more of a cleaner look. So this is how it turned out then. But as you can see, there are no doors here, and that is mainly because there is not a lot of space in here to open them and close them. It would have been a little complicated. So I thought instead I would add some curtains. As soon as I planned out the kitchen, I knew it had to be gingham, and I'm so glad that I found this beige white option. It was very, very hard to find something actually, and so it will look kind of like this in the end. I'm going to do it myself, and I already had a few sewing lessons by my mom the past few weeks, so I know how to do it. I just have to be, I don't remember the word, brave enough. I have to be brave enough. I'm honestly a little scared. It's going to be my first sewing project ever, and I'm very perfectionistic, so it's going to be interesting. But after all, it doesn't have to be perfect. Hopefully I can figure that out somehow. Now we are in the bed, which is pretty much the only other important part of this room. So there's the kitchen and then there is the bed, and that's pretty much it. This is a very classic IKEA piece, which is just perfect for a smaller room, because if you want to bring in a table or something, you can turn it into a sofa, and I think that's very, very practical. More gingham here, of course, because I love it so much. This is actually just a blanket. I really, really want to have some proper curtains at some point, but I couldn't find fabric yet that I love. I was thinking about something striped maybe, or maybe some little flowers. I'm not really sure yet. So for now, this is the emergency solution. Then we have a little clothing hat section over here, which of course has to be a part of a cottage like this. On the other side we have a piece of furniture that was from the previous renters. I was thinking maybe painting it yellow so there's a little bit more color in here, but if you have any ideas, let me know. In general, the walls are all very empty so far, but that is mainly because I want to build it all up with time. Whenever I go on a flea market, maybe I can find a picture or a painting, or when I go on vacation. I want it to be very personal, and that always takes a little bit of time, and you can't have it all at once. But yeah, that is pretty much it so far. I just changed my outfit and I'm going to do a little bit of gardening now. I'm going to pick up all of the apples that are laying around, cut some of the roses, and just do whatever I can think of to make it a little bit cleaner. let's go, I would say. Every plant you can see was already there before us, so we haven't planted anything ourselves yet, but I would love to change that and grow some lavender and of course some more berries, because they just bring me so much happiness and always remind me of my childhood. But I'm very happy with the plants we already have, especially our roses. I think some of them are a little ill, which I still have to figure out how to treat them. We have this one yellow rose, which smells absolutely heavenly, and I always have to take a little break and just enjoy it. But yeah, there's still so much I need to learn about gardening, how to treat all my little plants properly. But it is a lovely world to dive into, and I just enjoy doing these little tasks like cutting off this plant which is very dried off, and just knowing that when I treat it right, it will grow back. And I think this is just a very rewarding kind of work. You do something good to the plants and they come back in the most beautiful way, and it just brings you so much happiness, I think. I took a little break, a little chocolate break, and talked to my mom. And I also squeezed in a little photo shoot because that's what I wanted to do as well. You can see the photos here or there. Maybe you've already seen it on Instagram, because I actually want to post them today. Now I'm going to continue gardening and do the rest of the stuff that I wanted to do. And then my brother will come and I will spend some time with my family. So I just realized it's already afternoon and I haven't had lunch. I think I'm going to eat something first and then continue working. This is honestly one of my worst habits, that I don't eat enough and I always forget to eat on these kind of days. I hope I'm not the only one. Please tell me I'm not the only one. I never thought I would enjoy mowing, but here we are, and it is literally one of my favorite workouts to do. I think this is one of the things that change when you become an adult. All the tasks you didn't like as a teenager are now some of your favorites. How things can change, right? I just came back from a lovely evening with my family, and now I'm going to relax here a little bit and read. And I'm actually going to start this biography about Marlene Dietrich. I've never read about her life so far, so I'm very intrigued. And by the way, I'm currently in a big old Hollywood biography kind of fever again. Like, I always enjoyed reading those, but at the moment I'm like, I need to know everything. And I recently finished a biography about Elizabeth Taylor, which is an actress I also never really researched. So it was very interesting and fascinating to get to know a part of her that was not just, you know, this very beautiful woman. I'm going to put this here, and I highly recommend it if you want to learn more about her. But now, let's read this one. It's Sunday now, and I already went on a little photo shoot to photograph this outfit here. I'm actually very happy that I was able to do even 2 photo shoots this weekend, because I've been struggling a lot this year with being consistent and posting regularly on Instagram, so this was a success this weekend. I think it was also mainly because I was able to calm down and find some inspiration here in the garden. I think this is always very important, to take a step back in order to find some new ideas. And yeah, now of course, more gardening. I have to do some more stuff, so let's change into another outfit. I think our apple tree is probably the most special part of our garden. It is quite old and it has so many apples, as you can see. I already took so many off to reduce the weight, but there's still so much left, and I don't know what to do with them yet, as they are more of the sour kind of type and not very sweet. But maybe we can still make some juice out of it. However, if you have any tips, let me know. I cut the tree because, as you have seen in the beginning of the video, you couldn't really walk down the path. You literally had to crawl, or you nearly had to crawl. And so I cut a little bit off, as I read that you're actually allowed to do that in August, and now you can finally walk again like a normal human being. So that's great. Yeah, something I realized over this past weekend is that while gardening, my mind really calmed down. And usually I'm a big overthinker, my mind is constantly working and thinking. And this weekend, even though I did a lot of stuff, I felt a lot more calm. And I think this is also why a lot of people love gardening, not only because you're outside in the fresh air and you can work with plants and all that, but it's also just so good for your mind, you know. Or maybe just because of that, because you're outside working with plants. Well, anyway, I'm just really happy about having this opportunity now. And I also really enjoyed just observing everything around here. Like, every time I worked on something, I stopped for a while and then I watched the bees or the little bugs doing their thing, and it was just lovely, and it really makes you appreciate those small things, and that's all I want, to celebrate every day. But now I'm going to do the last thing, and that is to water the plants, and then my work is over. I'm back at home now, as you can see, and that also means we're coming to the end of this little vlog. Thank you if you're still watching. I hope it was not too boring and you enjoyed this little insight into my garden and just hanging around a little again together. I definitely enjoyed it, and I really hope to do this more often again now whenever I have something interesting to share. With all that said, I hope you have a wonderful rest of the day wherever you are in the world, and I will hopefully see you in one of my next videos. Bye!